everyone,
Hello, everyone.
welcome. We are live from Chicago where we have this fantastic artist, Solomon Adufah.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, and then we're here to witness the creation of Sean Michael Warren.
Yes.
So, who's at work? So, we're gonna focus over here. And it's my great pleasure to meet this artist today because the work of Solomon is pretty spectacular. So, I
Thank
will.
you. That's too kind.
That's spectacular. So, I'm going to link both artists' handle in this post, but I wanted to ask Solomon something about vulnerability because we were talking about. I was asking if how much intuition plays a role when an artist is so well trained, right? Because I love drawing, but I don't have extensive training, so intuition is very strong. So I was asking, how do you blend intuition and training and skill and experience and so forth?
Yes, and I was explaining that intuition and vulnerability of an artist is one and the same. Strength and vulnerability are one and the same. And the reason why I'm saying that is that for an artist to be vulnerable to the work that the artist is creating, he or she almost has to surrender in the process of creating the work. Whether it's going through a process of creating, which is difficult, or finding inspiration, right? It's hard to force things and they don't come naturally. So it's almost as though you have to allow yourself to feel. And that in itself is vulnerable to a certain degree, but it is within that vulnerability that you find your greatest strength to create the work.
And so, thanks. And so, so have you ever encountered blockages? Because you're very prolific, but have you ever not felt able to tap into that for an extensive period of time? Or
Yeah. I very much have, and I think that one of the ways in which I try to deal with situations of that nature is that either go to another work, or start on another work, or take some time off in a specific piece, come back the next day, and hopefully I will have a fresh memory to be able to continue working it. Because sometimes I can sit and paint for 15 hours, and that can be very draining.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So I think that taking some time to yourself, some time off to just clear your mind and coming back with a fresh perspectives also helps with it.
That's awesome. So maybe to end, because I have been just speaking with this person for a long time, because probably just wanting to enjoy, Sean's work, and I just didn't stop talking. But is there something that you would like to tell artists, who are or just people, actually people in general, right, who are in need of a way of expressing themselves, right? Because perhaps a lot of people currently are finding new things about themselves after being, unable to travel and socialize, right?
Yeah.
So is there something that you would like to tell people about, or advice, or encourage people to do in how you can bring this intuition into everyday life? Right, because I bet that when you practice intuition like that in art, then you're also able to honor that in life, which makes life not less arduous, but perhaps easier not easier, I don't know, what I mean?
I think that first of all, finding something that you do that naturally makes you happy as a person
how about
is
that?
one way to go about it. And that may sound very cliche or something as though I've heard it before or I've done that before, but I think that tapping into those things on a daily basis can evolve into other things that you probably may not be aware of that you are very good at. That can be something that you can take on. So I think that not only tap into the things that you are genuinely passionate about that comes easy to you, but allowing yourself to explore other things that you may not be used to. Sometimes we're so stagnant in our ways that we often fail to explore beyond our vision and our peripheral. So I think it's very important to also take the time to explore other things
And so, lastly, thank you so much for your time, by the way. Lastly, how do you go about it, right? If you're not used to, if you're, if you're not used to exploring things right outside of your circle or meeting people outside of your circle, how do you go about it? I mean, I know that it's different for everyone, but how do you explore? Do you do it online? Do you buy, I don't know, like how do you stay inspired with knowledge?
I think that you start on a micro level, smaller things, right? And then expand to much larger things in capacity. When you feel comfortable with doing the small things, like the everyday small niches and things, I think those grow into becoming, because it can be very overwhelming if you just step out and just like, okay, I want to do that, and then go all out. So I think that you start small,
that's great.
with picking at least 2 or 3 things, right? Perhaps, and then those things expand on that.
Perhaps trying something different in food or a different type of music, or
precisely on a micro level.
That's so wise.
And then expand on that once you feel more comfortable.
Yeah, it's like small steps towards a long journey.
Yes,
always with this pearl of wisdom, we're going to conclude. Thank you so much.
She is the visionary.
Yes, I am. And we want to thank the maestro here. We don't want to interrupt you, but we just want to say hello and thank you for your work. And more soon.
Ciao, ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.